play it as well as I've always played. That'll be an auction item, Dale.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rick Rekenis. I'm the chair of the Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beaches. For all of our viewers joining us today, welcome to the 23rd Annual State of the City Breakfast. First, since we are together today via a virtual video live presentation, let's do a few housekeeping items. For our sponsor guests and the live audience here today, please take a moment and silence your cell phones. Second, we invite you to save the date for our next corporate virtual breakfast program that will be on Thursday, February 25th, live again via YouTube Live with Kelly Smallridge, the CEO of the Business Development Board. Kelly will be sharing updates and accomplishments for 2020. You'll also be the first to hear about new companies who are planning to come to Palm Beach County in 2021 and beyond. Register now, as limited tickets are on sale on our website at palmbeaches.org. Third, we invite you today to be the first to know about the Chamber's 10+ events every month. You can follow us on social media here. On Facebook, it's at Chamber of the Palm Beaches. And if you do Twitter, it's at Chamber Update. You can also follow Mayor James and the City of West Palm Beach for live updates on their social media here. For Facebook, it's at City of WPB and at Mayor Keith James WPB. If you're a Twitter person, it's at West Palm BCH. To post today after the event, you can use hashtag Mayor James SOC 2021. Also, thank you to our premier sponsors who are joining us here today live as our studio audience. They're listed in alphabetical order here by organization's name. Aqua Marketing and Communications is represented today by Fran Vaccaro. Cooper Construction is represented by Jackie Cooper Jr. GL Homes, represented today by Sarah Alsofrom. Hedrick Brothers Construction, represented by Dale Hedrick. Lewis Longman & Walker is represented by Michelle Diffenderfer. Oxbridge Academy, represented by Dr. Ralph Moore and Scott Siegfried. Rekenis & Associates is represented by me. South University, represented by Mike Keith. And Southwest Airlines is represented by Allison Heffler. We thank these organizations and their distinguished leaders for actively and generously supporting this program today. Thank you also to our annual Corporate Breakfast Series subscribers for 2021, Florida Crystals Corporation, Ford Harrison LLC, GL Homes, Iberia Bank, Lamoya & Bone, Lewis Longman & Walker PA, Palm Beach Kennel Club, Rekenis & Associates, and the Salvation Army. We'd now like to recognize our local elected officials who serve our community and thank them for being our leaders during this challenging time. First, our City of West Palm Beach Commissioners. District 1, Kelly Schoaf. District 2 Commissioner, Corey Nearing. District 3 Commissioner, Christy Fox. District 4, Joe Peduzzi. And District 5 Commissioner is Christina Lambert. We also work well in partnership with our Palm Beach County and their commissioners, and Palm Beach County Mayor representing District 3 is Dave Kerner. District 1 Commissioner is Maria Marino. District 2, Greg Weiss. District 4, Vice Mayor Robert Weinroth. District 5, Commissioner Maria Sachs. District 6, Commissioner Melissa McKinley. District 7, Commissioner Mac Bernard. Palm Beach County's administrator is Virginia Baker, and the clerk of the Circuit Court and Comptroller is Joseph Abruzzo. Now, some of these leaders, like Dale Hedrick and myself, also enjoy sharing our time investing in building the next generation of local leaders. We've joined the Chamber's Executive Mentorship Program, which is open to Chamber board members. We'd like to thank our 2019 board chair, Evelyn Hopkins, who started this program with a vision to connect corporate executives with aspiring young professionals in our community. Thank you, Evelyn, to you Florida Crystals, and your husband Christopher for being mentors each year. Thank you to GL Holmes and Sarah Alsofrom for being a strong advocate and an ongoing sponsor of this program. Many of you are probably wondering where the proceeds from today's program will go. They support chamber programs like this one that build leaders and future leaders in our city. We'd like now to officially announce that the Chamber will launch the 3rd annual Executive Mentorship Program starting February 8th, 2021. Applications for mentors and mentees will be available starting February 8th on the Chamber website at palmbeaches.org. We invite our Chamber Board and trustee members joining us today to join me, Dale, Sarah, and Evelyn to consider mentoring and building our next generation of leaders. Speaking of remarkable local leaders, we will also now set a more formal tone today by welcoming Sterling Frederick, who is an international award-winning a cappella choral leader who will sing the national anthem. We invite those who are able in our live studio audience to please stand. Sterling?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's glass gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watch, we're so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you, Sterling. What remarkable talent we have right here in our own backyard in West Palm Beach. So a friendly note, Sterling serves our local community also as a dedicated local high school choral and music teacher at Forest Hill Community High School. Under his leadership, Sterling's high school a cappella choral groups have performed nationally, including live on Good Morning America and internationally for England, for the Queen of England, winning prestigious contests. A fun fact, they were just invited to sing at the Radio City Music Hall in New York City in December to open for the Rockettes. Thanks again, Sterling. We appreciate your sharing your talent with us today for this special program. Folks, we need more good news like this, and we need more positive things for our high school students, their families, and each of you here today to look forward to in 2021. We sincerely hope that Broadway in New York City is safe and open again this Christmas. Before we officially welcome Mayor Keith James to the stage today, we'd be remiss if we didn't state the obvious. 2020 was anything but a normal year any way you measure it, with the COVID pandemic wreaking global havoc and uncertainty. On top of that, we saw all other modes of social, economic, and political challenges brought to our doorstep, resulting in uncertainties and daunting residual effects that impacted every single one of us in unforeseen ways. To anyone not living under a rock, I don't know about you, but for me it felt like a tempest wave was crashing around me on all sides of a sinking boat, and at the same time the earth was going to open up underneath my feet and swallow me whole. This was an extremely difficult year in which we were each asked to navigate under duress, running our families, our businesses, and our government. We here at the Chamber say hats off to Mayor Keith James and his entire city staff. They proved that they serve all of us as truly essential workers, We salute each of you for your dedication and commitment to make our city stronger. Thank you for a job well done. And now, speaking of committed and dedicated leaders in our local community, it is my privilege to formally introduce Mayor Keith James, City of West Palm Beach. Mayor James was elected mayor of the City of West Palm Beach in March of 2019 and is serving his term through 2023. He is focused on creating a community of opportunity for all. Mayor James has a vision for West Palm Beach that is resident-driven. He graduated from Harvard College and then Harvard Law School. He's been a West Palm Beach resident for the last 33 years, and this is where he raised his 2 children and has dedicated his life to public service. Mayor James and his wife Lorna are proud to call West Palm Beach home. It is now my privilege to welcome my good friend and your mayor, our mayor, Mayor Keith James, to the podium. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. This is indeed a unique environment, but we are going to make it through. I certainly want to thank all of the studio audience for being here, and certainly thank each and everyone that may be listening in. You know, today, this is a West Palm Beach first. I'm delivering the State of the City virtually from the auditorium at the Mandel Public Library. I'm joined by Rick, Dennis, our sponsors, as well as my city leadership team, and of course, my beloved wife, Lorna. Rest assured, we are all masked up and practicing social distancing. It is truly an honor to be with all of you today, even if we are apart, and to be reminded that so many care enough about our city to want to hear more about where we are, where we're going, and how we intend to get there. I want to say a special thank you to the Chamber of Commerce of the Palm Beaches for hosting this morning's event, and specifically to Chamber Chair Rick Rekenes and Chamber CEO Dennis Grady. To the Chamber, thanks so much for your partnership and for all you do to support not just our business community, but every resident in the great city of West Palm Beach. Well, this year has put us all to the test, where lives were changed, businesses were hurt, and families suffered unimaginable loss. It challenged not just our economy and lifestyle, but also our character, our conscience, and our faith. Yet for all the tragic stories of loved ones lost, there are also stories of courage and grit, of first responders putting others first before themselves, of frontline workers risking their health to protect others, of small businesses refusing to quit, and big plans refusing to give way to big challenges. While we are all hoping to put COVID-19 in our rearview mirror as quickly and permanently as possible, may we never forget what we learned about ourselves and each other, about the fragility of life and the need to rededicate our own to making our city whole, vibrant, and vital. That what we do here and why reflects on the very best in us. The State of the City is an opportunity for mayors to reference the achievements of the past year, the reality of the present, and the game plan for the future. This past year, as we all know, has been extraordinarily different and difficult. So many of us have lost so much to COVID-19, friends, loved ones, businesses. To anyone dealing with such a loss, I know that words are not enough to ease your pain. Know that you are in our thoughts and in our hearts. Please join me in a moment of silence to remember the victims of COVID-19. Thank you. As I speak to you this morning and reflect on the past year and where we are today, West Palm Beach is writing its own story. It is one replete with paradoxes, highs and lows, successes and losses, unity and division, rebirth and death, happiness and sadness, wisdom and foolishness, of closeness and social distance. Or as Oscar Wilde once put it, the way of paradoxes is the way of truth. So while our community remains hopeful, we are still far from healthy. Although West Palm Beach remains ready, willing, and able to administer vaccines, we still lack adequate supply. And according to our partners at the state and Palm Beach County, the wait for vaccinations may prove unbearably long. Indeed, Operation Warp Speed feels more like Operation Slow Moving. Like you, I am disappointed and angered by this situation, as with each passing day, we are losing far too many for far too little reason. As many of you know, Charles Dickens' classic, A Tale of Two Cities, began with the words, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times." The way I see it, the West Palm Beach story isn't a tale of two cities, but a tale of one city overcoming adversity. This morning, our community is on the rebound, a true testament to our resilience, thanks to the sacrifices of so many who gave so much, and whose grit, determination, sweat, and tears are why I can say with confidence that the state of our city is strong, that better days, sounder days, safer days, healthier days are indeed ahead. First, a special thanks to every healthcare provider and first responder on the front lines, including West Palm Beach Police and Fire and the staff of Good Samaritan, St. Mary's, and JFK Medical Center North. You are our heroes. And my address this morning is dedicated to each and every one of you. Second, I want to acknowledge and thank our residents. I know it has not been easy, whether wearing a face covering, sheltering in place, unexpectedly becoming an at-home teacher, or lending a hand to neighbors in need. You gave up so much to help us get to where we are today. I also extend my appreciation to our chamber members and the business community. You are the job creators who drive our region's economic engine. Your perseverance and innovation are ensuring that West Palm Beach will weather this storm better and faster than other cities in this nation. A special thank you to our city commissioners, Commission President Kelly Schoaf, Commissioners Corey Nearing, Christina Lambert, Joseph Peduzzi, and Christy Fox. As part of the COVID response unit, perhaps the first of its kind in the nation, you were there when our city most needed you to ensure the provision of life's basic necessities, such as food and shelter, for those who might otherwise have gone without. Thank you to our 1,700 city employees who, despite tremendous obstacles, kept our city operational. I'm so proud to work alongside you, shoulder to shoulder. And then finally, a special thanks to our nonprofit community, Neighbors Who Help Neighbors, and all the West Palm Beach Together heroes. Whether by donating funds, volunteering for a food distribution line, or making hand sanitizer and face masks, everyone stepped up in response to that our community has not seen since World War II. The challenges we face reverberated throughout our city like shockwaves, crippling our cultural institutions, service industry, tourism, and hospitality sectors. As of August, our county lost more than $48 million among 33 cultural organizations, impacting almost 600 jobs. When you are the county's cultural capital, that hurts. Similarly, tourist visitation to the Palm Beaches was down 27%, and tourism spending was down 19% last year. When you have more tourism-dependent households in any city in the county, 4,292 to be exact, that too hurts. From big box stores at our major shopping destinations to the mom and pops, we lost businesses. We are so sad to see them go. Before CARES dollars are flowing, the city of West Palm Beach was there to provide a lifeline to our business community through expanded seating for diners, marketing support, and with the help of the DDA, facilitating $443,000 in microloans to 47 small businesses, some of which were one payment away from going under. Our Office of Economic Opportunity at the city awarded almost $13 million to small businesses through competed procurements, exceeding its goals, even in the midst of a pandemic. We were there, and we still are. The city is partners in the economic vitality of the city, and we will do everything we can to measure up to our side of the relationship. Financial impacts were also felt at City Hall, where choices were narrowed and sacrifices were asked across the board. With unprecedented declining state revenues and increasing operating expenses, we suddenly faced a $10 million budget shortfall. Yet, by working together and getting creative, we passed a balanced $194 million general fund budget that kept the millage rate the same without layoffs to full-time employees. So while praying we never have to go down this particular road again, one upside is we elevated our game. We avoided the fiscal storms now plaguing major cities across America. But we're not out of the woods yet, and we have much more work to do. Therefore, we've become more frugal and vigilant about future impacts to our budget from current initiatives as part of our plan to address future budget challenges. COVID-19 has also accelerated a trend seen here in our city for the last 20 years of people and businesses escaping the high-tax Northeast in favor of sunshine, low taxes, and the business-friendly climate of West Palm Beach. They want to go beyond visiting here to moving here, staying here, and working here. While Bloomberg and other national publications have written about the heavy interest in our city and region, the proof is in the data. For example, in the first quarter of this fiscal year, the city had the highest collection of business tax revenue in its history, $3.3 million, in the midst of a pandemic. Right now, almost $700 million in projects are under construction in our city. Instead of slowing down, we are speeding up. The demand for residential real estate is skyrocketing. There are now more than 230 financial services firms in our city, hedge funds, small boutique firms, private equity funds, and family offices, most of which are located in our Flagler Financial District. This means Wall Street has found West Palm's Main Street to be a carless highway to continued success. Among the firms relocating their headquarters here, Paul Singer's Elliott Management, a $41 billion company. And just this month, we signed a letter of intent with another financial services firm that is expected to bring up to 600 jobs to our city. I've had numerous conversations with several developers who remain bullish on the demand for commercial real estate in our city. The Related Companies reports that heavy demand for Class A office space is why construction of 360 Rosemary is expected to be completed in the spring, while One Flagler is expected to break ground later this year, and why the company has purchased Phillips Point for $282 million. Charles Cohen is moving forward with his proposal to develop the tent site with Class A office space. Let me be clear, I'm not just hopeful about our city's economic future, I am resoundingly confident. At City Hall, we continue to do our part to attract economic development and improve quality of life by making investments in public safety, in our neighborhoods, and in our infrastructure. As you know, I campaigned to make our city even safer. Today, I'm proud to say that we are, because no matter in which zip code you may live, you deserve to live in a neighborhood that's safe and secure. Far too many people have experienced the tragedy of violent crime. I hear the stories of heartbreak every time I visit the scene of a homicide. Under the leadership of Police Chief Frank Adderley, our city's crime rate continues to drop, In fact, we saw a 9% year-over-year decrease in the overall crime rate in 2020. In the last 2 years, the homicide rate has fallen 30% as compared to the previous 2 years. We also went hard after the gangs that taunt, threaten, and terrorize, an effort that continues to this day. I thank our brave men and women in blue who helped make this possible. Now, although a new contract with our police and fire unions has reached an impasse, know that I will do everything I can to give them the support they've earned and the respect they deserve while honoring my obligation to be fiscally responsible. Despite COVID-19, the city of West Palm Beach is putting neighborhoods first. From filling potholes to adding streetscape to hardening our utilities, we completed 42 infrastructure improvement projects totaling $45 million in fiscal year 2020. In the South End, plans for the new West Palm Golf Park are rapidly advancing through a unique partnership with PGA of America. The new South Olive Park Tennis Center is nearing completion, and we expect development of 8111 South Dixie to become a reality later this year. In the north end of our city, the renovated Sunset Lounge, Heart and Soul Park, and Styx Promenade are poised to inject new vitality into an area historically overlooked and ignored. Working through the Community Redevelopment Agency, we are re-envisioning Curry Park. Badly needed workforce housing is coming to the Northwest soon in the form of The Grand, a $71 million project and the largest private investment in the history of the Northwest. The Anchor Site project is on track to breathe new life into Northwood Village. In our western communities, we remain fiercely protective of Grassy Waters Preserve, the source of our drinking water supply, and opposed to the lowering of Lake Okeechobee, which can adversely impact our source water. No one will mess with our water on my watch. No one. Downtown, we are prioritizing and accelerating over $20 million in stormwater and drainage projects. We've also made significant progress on Banyan Streetscape. We've celebrated $18 million in improvements to Clematis Street. We've unveiled renovations to the Centennial Fountain, including a light, water, and music show. By the way, if you haven't experienced it, you should check that fountain out. We've also recommitted our help and energy to making the Latin Quarter a vibrant economic and cultural asset, a major focal point of outreach and opportunity. I'm proud West Palm Beach ranks among the top cities in the nation for inclusivity of our LGBTQ community and among the top cities in the world for climate leadership. Indeed, today I am pleased to announce that we are revamping our customer service infrastructure, including personnel and software, as part of the Neighborhoods First initiative. Taking care of our neighborhoods means taking care of all our neighbors, including the homeless. We are committed to helping them triumph over the challenges they are facing: addiction, mental illness, financial setbacks, hardships that often make just getting through the day an achievement. Under the guidance of our full-time homeless coordinator, we've made great progress by servicing homeless individuals through the street engagement team, providing access to mental health services, and offering placement in emergency housing. Homelessness is a humanitarian crisis, a human tragedy that will only be resolved by decency, empathy, and humanity. But we must also respect the rights of all residents to enjoy our public spaces and a good quality of life. One way we are fighting homelessness is by creating workforce housing. Housing prices in our city are far too high for far too many. I want to make sure that as the city continues to grow, no one is left behind. Last year, during my State of the City address, I announced the 303 initiative to break ground on or complete 300 units of workforce housing in 3 years. I'm proud that we're almost there, way ahead of schedule. Last year alone, 277 units were added to the city's housing stock. We won't just meet that goal, we're going to shatter it. So today I'm proud to announce that instead of 300 units in 3 years, we're committing to 200 more for a combined 500 units of workforce housing in 3 years. With good fortune, I hope to be back next year to announce we'll do even more than that. One person, one family, one housing unit at a time, we are impacting hearts, minds, souls in our city's future. One city united against adversity. You know, the public health crisis has exposed all of society's flaws and vulnerabilities. For West Palm Beach, it really shone a spotlight on areas where we are strong, but it also illuminated areas where we're not. The tragic events of last summer led to demonstrations and protests in cities nationwide, including West Palm Beach. The senseless killings of young black men and women occurred at a time when many people of color were disproportionately adversely affected by COVID-19. Thanks to the West Palm Beach Police Department, we were able to facilitate the peaceful demonstration of more than 4,000 people without a single injury, avoiding the kind of violence that put too many other cities in the headlines for reasons they never wanted. I think that speaks not only to the character and values of our city, but also to the sensible approach of our police. The demonstrations and protests last summer reminded me of images I saw on my little black and white TV screen in Wichita, Kansas during the Civil Rights era. I was moved by the portrayal of black marchers violently bitten by police dogs in Mississippi, or hosed down with fire hoses with water in Montgomery, Alabama. When I saw the demonstrations of last summer, though, I noticed there was something different. Unlike the protesters of the 60s, these participants were diverse. They were young and old, people of all colors and ethnicities and backgrounds. Now, I know a cultural shift was underway when I noticed that NASCAR banned the Confederate flag and that a black man was cast as the lead in The Bachelor. I often speak of creating a community of opportunity for all, whereby anyone, no matter what their background, race, ethnicity, or goals, can realize their dreams in our city. Last summer's demonstrations in West Palm Beach reminded me that there are so many in our city who share that vision. After so many years, after so much suffering for so many people, it was no longer enough to just hope for change or talk about change. It was time to act boldly, openly, and together. In that vein, I established the Mayor's Task Force for Racial and Ethnic Equality, the first of its kind in our city's history, to take a long, hard look at our city, its past and present, and make specific policy recommendations for consideration by me and the Commission. I tapped attorney Michelle Diffendorfer and local Urban League CEO Patrick Franklin to lead the task force that is comprised of a diverse group of community members. Our approach will be data-driven, methodical, and thorough. Doing this right is going to take time. Thank you very much, Michelle and Patrick. Thanks to the task force members and the subcommittee members for caring so much about our city to make this a priority. Our country is indeed at an inflection point, and I want West Palm Beach to be a part of it, the right way, as a civic beacon of openness instead of an uncivil portrait of intolerance. When I reflect on where we are today and where we are headed, West Palm Beach stands as a shining example of what is possible when everybody comes together and works together to overcome an adversity that no one saw coming. As the saying goes, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, in so many ways, our city is stronger. We are safer than before. We are proving more economically resilient than before. We are on our way toward becoming more equitable than before. And we are kinder than before. And even though we've been forced to remain apart, as a community, we are now closer than before. That's because West Palm Beach doesn't run from our challenges. We lean into them. We don't shirk our responsibilities, we embrace them. We don't seek to tear people down for their differences, but raise them up for their commitment to the common good. We don't seek a future where the haves have more and the have-nots less, but one where citizens can rise together by working together, pulling for one another together. Because when the chapter about COVID-19 is finally written into city lore and the final page is turned, I want everyone to feel that we persevered by uniting as one against an adversity out to spare no one on behalf of everyone. A city's greatness isn't measured by what's been accomplished, but rather by what has yet to be achieved. In closing, I'd like to leave you with a quote from one of my favorite poems, Maya Angelou's "And Still I Rise." Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. West Palm Beach is rising after rising the challenge, and we're not about to stop now. Thank you very much. May God bless you. May God bless America, and may God bless West Palm Beach. Thank you.
Thank you again, Mayor James. And thank you again to our loyal annual sponsors. And by the way, you guys now see, everybody now can see why this is one of our premier events during the year. This is an absolutely amazing speech and status of where the city is and where it's going. Aqua Marketing and Communications, Cooper Construction, GL Homes, Hedrick Brothers Construction, Lewis Longman and Walker, Oxbridge Academy, Rekennis & Associates, South University, and Southwest Airlines. Before we invite you to get on with your day, I'd like to invite you also to make sure you get a brand new copy of the 2021 Guide to the Palm Beaches. This national award-winning full-color publication acts as an information resource, membership directory, and relocation guide. It's used by county and state residents, visitors, the business community, and chamber members when looking for area products, services, and professionals. For our chamber members, these are being mailed to your offices for you to enjoy in early February. For future members, please visit the chamber's office to pick one up after February 10th at your convenience. The chamber office is open to the public Monday through Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please stop by and pick up a new guide for 2021. Please, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce and the City of West Palm Beach and Mayor James, have a safe and enjoyable day. Thank you.